occurred with Kevin Gaines is that one day he got into a street rage issue, and unbeknownst to him, the person he was involved with the street rage was a police officer. Laga said that Gaines pulled a gun and pointed at him, and Laga fired and killed Gaines.
I was stopped at a light, number 1 car, sitting there, minding my own business.
We see it time and time again. People who get away with cold-blooded murder become so full of guilt that they start talking and incriminating themselves for no apparent reason. Frank Laga did it in front of a room full of police officers at the Los Angeles Police Academy.
Derwin and his buddy Kevin Gaines were best friends and running partners. That's how Gaines knew who I was, basically. Henderson was a probationer of mine, and I'd seen them one night in Hollywood. And remember, I had long hair, driving a fucking Buick Regal, and I'd seen Henderson in traffic, and we stopped I was going south, he was going north. He had another male black in a car with him, but I didn't pay attention to that guy. I was talking to Derwin. We were partners, and we were saying hi to him and talking to him. Turns out Gaines was with him. They were running partners. That's where Gaines knew me.
Laga says that's how he knew who I was at the time. That's not road rage. Officer Gaines and Detective Laga worked together at West LA Division years ago. I know for a fact that Officer Gaines knew who Detective Laga was because when we were partners, we had also talked about Detective Laga. Detective Laga said he faced Officer Gaines one night in Hollywood. He said he didn't pay attention to Gaines. However, he wants us to believe Officer Gaines looked like a dangerous gang member when he killed him. This is not road rage. Let's listen again.
Derwin and his buddy Kevin Gaines were best friends and running partners. That's how Gaines knew who I was, basically. Henderson was a probationer of mine, and I'd seen them one night in Hollywood. And remember, I had long hair, driving a fucking Buick Regal, and I'd seen Henderson in traffic, and we stopped I was going south, he was going north. He had another male black in a car with him, but I didn't pay attention to that guy. I was talking to Derwin. We were partners, and we were saying hi to him and talking to him. Turns out Gaines was with him. They were running partners. That's where Gaines knew me.
I've worked with Los Angeles police officers who've had to use deadly force. I have friends who have served in Iraq and Afghanistan. They never talk about the lives they took. Frank Laga openly brags about killing a fellow officer in front of the slain officer's ex-partners and close friends. What kind of man would do that?
He goes, "Do you have any regrets?" I says, "Yeah." And he leans forward again. He goes, "You regret shooting him?" I says, "No, I regret that he's alone in the truck at the time." Figure that one out. You know, they didn't hear that? Alone in the truck at the time. I could have killed a whole truckload of them and would have been happily doing so.
A Los Angeles police officer would never point their weapon at someone and let that person draw their gun and fire 2 shots without getting off a single shot, as Frank Laga wants us to believe. The Los Angeles Police Department and the homicide detective in charge of his murder investigation went out of their way to defame the murdered officer and to clear Frank Laga. Officer Kevin Gaines never worked for Death Row Records or CEO Suge Knight. Kevin Gaines worked for Nightlife Management, owned by Sharitha Knight. He worked for her twice before they started dating. Gaines was never Suge Knight's bodyguard. Suge Knight would not be stupid enough to hire his wife's live-in boyfriend to be his personal bodyguard. Suge Knight would not be stupid enough to hire his wife's live-in boyfriend to be his personal bodyguard. Officer Gaines was never assigned to Rampart Division. He was never a crash officer at Rampart Division. The LAPD was ordered to do an audit by the LA City Council. The audit had nothing to do with the murder of Officer Gaines.